Hey everyone, welcome to the Horror Show. I'm Cecil Laird.
I'm Fuego here.
Here to do a special Christmas CD review. Well, I should say Christmas album review. God, I'm so old at this point.
But we have it in CD copy, so there
Exactly. That's how I was listening to it. But guys, we reviewed a album from these guys before. We did their Halloween album. This is by the Midnight Syndicate. If you guys didn't know, these are some amazing musicians that, believe it or not, if you've been visiting Halloween stores at all in the last 20 or so years, then you've probably seen their music near the cash register every single year. They've been putting out CDs for so long. I remember seeing them when I was, a teenager, and it's really cool. We somehow were able to connect with them this past year, and now they allow us to use their music in our videos. So that they're some really awesome guys. But the best thing about it is I've loved their music for a reason. They are extraordinarily talented at what they do. The Halloween CD album was really more of a compilation from some of their other CDs. But this one, the first thing I'm going to jump in and say that well, let me just first say, I liked the Halloween album. I love the Christmas album.
Yeah,
I think
great.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sorry, Fuego. I'll let you talk in just a second. I'm just so excited to talk about this because the Halloween album I listened to a couple of times, but I was familiar with a lot of the songs. This one I had not listened to before, and so it is so perfect for me as someone that just likes to have ambient music going, especially music that doesn't necessarily have words, so I can do writing, I can read, I can edit, I can do anything I want while it's on. And I'll be damned if these guys didn't nail a Christmas-themed dark music album that is perfect for a guy like me in that circumstance. So that is my overall thoughts on this CD. Fuego, what is your overall thoughts?
Oh, it's much the same to you, man. It really sets the mood accordingly, and it's cool because this is predominantly just reimaginations of traditional Christmas stuff. I mean, you've got God Rest You Merry Gentlemen, you've got Hark the Herald Angels Sing. I'm looking at the list right now. I mean, Green Sleeves, Carol of the Bells, you've got Dance of the Sugar Plum Fairy from the Nutcracker, and it's really cool because, especially for me, I love the way this album is structured because it does feel like it has like the opening track, the overture. Mm-hmm. It's got a little bit of that. They sing it at the end of It's a Wonderful Life. Gosh, I'm trying to remember what the heck it's called. It's like it's like Auld Lang Syne.
Oh, yeah, Auld Lang Syne. That's what, or Auld Lang Syne. Yeah, I know. I never knew what it was actually was, but it's like spelled so weird. But it's the New Year's song.
Yeah, it's the New Year's song, but they play like just a little hint of it at the very end of the overture at the beginning of this album, and so it feels almost like opening credits to, like it could have been opening credits to Krampus or to any other Christmas horror film. In the fact that it starts with a little sweetness and whimsy almost, and then just gets dark very quickly, and then goes into these reimaginations of mostly traditionals. There are some originals in here as well, including the final track, which is called Christmas at Midnight. And for me, that feels like ending credits. It's probably the prettiest. Yes, it's got like, I don't know, like a weird, just morbid sadness to it at the same time. But it feels very much like, things are just, drawing to a close, that the holiday is finishing, and whatever evil spirits came out to terrorize this particular Christmas, their deeds are done, and they're flying away into the night sky or whatever. So it's a damn good album, man, and I love the way it flows. The fact that they did something like Up on the Housetop, and yet it's spooky. I mean, it's great, man. This album was so much fun, and I mean, you could play it at a Christmas party, or I could see it scoring once again any sort of creepy Christmas film. So
yeah, no, I 100% agree with you, and it's funny the way I sort of kept notes was for at least the first 10 tracks of the 16. I basically I didn't look at the names of the tracks before I actually listened to the CD. So I just basically wrote down a lot of the or just my thoughts or what each song evoked, because that's what we really loved about the Halloween CD, is that each song sort of could put you in the mindset of a mood, or even could easily conjure a film scene, like an original film scene, like the music would make you think of what would be playing out in accordance to that music. And so for the first 10 tracks, I did that, and I will get to that list before we're done with this, but that's what I want to hit on, is even though they're a lot, most of them are dark spins on Christmas classics, which is awesome enough in itself, but the fact that you can, use it for just good ambient party music during the holidays, if you and your friends are into that sort of darker horror side of things, as most of our viewers are, but yeah, you can use it for that. You can use it for stuff, like I said, when you're reading, when you're editing, whatever, when you're studying, if you're younger, but the nice thing is, even outside of all of those uses, you can just sit back and have, if you really wanted, this could be a really fun listening party activity. Like, you just
fire, cocktail, and just get yourself entranced by it practically.
Exactly. Well, then just make it a fun game. Go around the horn, being like, okay, Terry, what is this? What are you picturing? Liana, what are you picturing? This person, that person, what are you picturing?
Bertha, what are you thinking?
Yeah.
What are you thinking?
Yeah, exactly. And then, you could even go farther, because some of the tracks are a little bit lengthier, so just going around the horn with what you're thinking of might not fill the time. You can then choose whichever one you all agree is the coolest, and then try and develop that story, and that could be just a fun activity. Or a podcast, if you're into that kind of thing. Maybe we'll do that. But being able to have music that can so clearly draw a picture in your head, that's not something you find that often anymore. It's just not.
Yeah, and that's what good scoring music does. It does evoke those images and immediately make you feel like you're in a specific time and place and environment, and you can feel the cold on so many of these songs, and just what the season is all about. And just, Christmas is always thought of as a happy time, but for a lot of people it's not. For a lot of time it's about staying warm and bundled up. It's about not being with friends and family. It's about being alone, and isolation breeds crazy at a lot of the time too, I would say. So there are songs with a hint of whimsy, like the Little Helpers and the Tin Soldier song. I'm the Parade of the Tin Soldiers. That's another classic of sorts. But most of the songs that they cover that are older compositions are at least a century old, if not like centuries upon centuries old. Hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years in some cases. And the originals are good too. Night of the Krampus is great. At first I thought it was God Rest You Merry Gentlemen, but then it just delved into its own thing with these weird strings and stuff, or like a harpsichord, some sort of instrument that just sounded I don't know, like
broody. Did you call it a harpsichord?
Harpsichord. I don't know, man.
Harpsichord.
Give me a goddamn break here, man.
It's cute. I like it. Yeah. It's about the only thing musically that I know that you don't. You are so far above and beyond me musically, knowledge-wise, that I wouldn't worry about it. You'll have plenty to correct me on in that sense. Well, to that end, let me go through the 10 here of what just letting you guys know what came into my head as I was listening to these. Okay, so number 1, which Fuego, I'm going to call out the number. Do you have the list there of the title?
Yeah,
okay,
I do.
You give the title, and then I'll tell you what I said. So, track number 1.
Yeah, track number 1 was what I mentioned, felt like the opening of a movie. So, Christmas Overture.
I said, dark holiday spirit with a bit of a creepy Auld Lang Syne also. So that was my little note there.
Nice.
Number 2.
Dance of the Sugar Plum Fairy from the Nutcracker. Everyone knows this one.
I said Creepy Dark Nutcracker. Little evil elves messing with people's homes and presents. That's what it put me in mind of.
There you go. That's awesome.
Number 3.
Number 3 is another traditional. It's Carol of the Bells.
I said, creepy Christmas atmosphere with deep throat singers into a dark, adventurous theme.
Okay.
Number 4.
Number 4 is, I'm pretty sure it's the first original on here, Night of the Krampus.
I actually really dug this one when I first heard it.
Yeah.
I said, Victorian guitar plucks puts me in mind of an old-timey brothel being assaulted by a Jack the Ripper type who is gleefully killing to the beat of the song.
Yeah, I was envisioning slicing to this one too.
Yeah, just like dancing around and you know, like that kind of shit.
Yeah, after it got going though, it's like he's stalking his prey as the song starts because it starts a little slower and then it picks up some steam. So,
number Jack the
5.
Ripper. Yep. Number 5. What is that?
It's another one that we've heard before. Angels we have heard on high.
Yep. I said old-timey harpsichord tune, 1800s vampire story. Also a bit of Gloria in Excelsis Deo, but dark.
Oh.
Yeah, that's the one. Gloria in Excelsis Deo.
Anyway.
Yeah, there you go.
Green Sleeves, another traditional.
I loved this one. I said dark spin on a Christmas flute classic. Very cool.
Yes, I completely concur there, sir. Number 7.
Mm-hmm.
This is one that is like kind of a silly song. Up on the housetop, reindeer paws, but they made it creepy as hell, and I loved it.
I said dark carnival kind of overture, complete with weird clown march towards the end.
Interesting, almost like a Batman Returns esque.
Well, but I was actually imagining a bunch of clowns lined up marching, almost like the Third Reich. Like that's a fucked up, creepy image right there. So, number 8, Fuego.
Number 8 was the one that I mistook initially the Night of the Krampus for, and that's God Rest Ye Merry Gentlemen, or as Bad Religion said, God Rest You Jerry Mentalman, because they song too.
Dark version of God Rest You Merry Gentlemen. Good tidings of comfort and joy, but extended into its own cool thing, it felt like. So, yeah.
Good tidings, or is it?
Yeah. Number 9.
Next one is Coventry Carol. Yeah, I probably
Coventry Carol, yep.
Coventry Carol, another traditional, another standard.
I said ominous bells over a low, moany tone. Fricking neat.
There you go.
I said fricking neat. That's one way to describe it. And then number 10, I'll give you my last thoughts, because after 10, I was like, good Lord, I'm going to have written so much stuff, this review's going to go forever, so go ahead. What was number 10?
Number 10 was Little Helpers, and I believe this was another original composition.
Yeah, and this one, immediately, it was a dark, playful beat, and it put me in mind of toys that are messing around with their kids now. Trying to mess back, play with their kids in the way the kids always play with them.
Silent Night, was it Silent Night, Deadly Night 4 or 5 with like the...
I've never actually seen that series.
Oh. I just remember the cover scaring the crap out of me as a kid because it had this kid sitting next to the Christmas tree, and there was there was a demonic bear and just all of these other toys next to him that looked like they were just ready to start killing, man. So, yeah.
So it looks like there was 15 tracks, not 16, like I said earlier. But yeah, I stopped there. Did you have any particular notes on the last 5, Fuego?
I enjoyed Winter Storm. That one was cool. But the one that I just keep coming back to is Christmas at Midnight, because once again, it felt like ending credits, and it's not like the creepiest of all of them per se, but man, it just evoked, like a bunch of bodies dead in the snow or something, or Scrooge didn't end up making it. He actually dies in the night, and the ghost of Christmas Future just flies off into the night, and then credits start rolling, and damn good. I especially thought that it was an album closer for sure, at least in my opinion. So.
Absolutely, yeah. I'm excited to get this review out, man, because I really want people to pick this thing up. It is so awesome, and what you need to know. Sorry, go ahead.
I was just telling the listeners and viewers, it needs to be in your collection, guys.
It really does.
break out at any Christmas party if you have friends who are into this sort of stuff, or freak out the friends of yours who aren't, or the family members that are overstaying their welcome, Krampus style,
Yeah.
Maybe they'll be more inclined to leave the next day instead of staying through the new year. So
yeah, exactly. Now, the other thing you need to know about these guys is they just did a turn at, God, I think it might have been Knott's Berry Farm.
Oh, wow.
Or one, it was one of the, no, I don't, that might not have been it. They did a turn playing the live show at a big theme park in their Halloween time of the year, this past year, or this year, 2017. I'm acting like the year's over, not quite yet. But the coolest thing is, very appropriate to this very review, the Dance of the Sugar Plum Fairy from this album was actually just featured, almost all of it, almost in its entirety, on the most recent episode of Happy that debuted. Which, yeah, no, exactly. It's really cool. They actually posted about it on Facebook today, the day that we recorded this review.
Is it a Christmas-themed episode or something? Or?
I'm guessing there might. Well, the whole series it's about. I mean, the guy is a cop, and the girl he's trying to track down was kidnapped by an evil Santa Claus. Like, it's a Santa Claus that's, really a bad dude,
So we're talking way worse than Bill Goldberg and Santa's Sleigh,
right,
or whatever.
Exactly, yeah. He keeps kids in crates and kills them and stuff like that. So, yeah, it's particularly bad. So the whole series is a Christmas series. It's 8 episodes, currently going, I think, on Sci-Fi.
Yep.
And so I know the first 3 episodes are available on the Sci-Fi app, and I know that the first 2 at least are available on YouTube, or at least last I looked they are. I am going to be watching them. We should have done it for the Christmas time, but oh well, we couldn't squeeze everything in, but we did squeeze in this review. Is there any other things you want to say about this CD, Fuego? I mean, again, you're the musician. Talk about the actual music, the way it's put together. You're in a band. You know all about this stuff. I can only speak very surface level about it. So tell everyone why. I mean, why does it work so well? Why do we love it so much?
Well, it just really, for me, works so well because it's often minimalistic, which is good at building mood, but then it does go into these full-on orchestral flourishes at times. So it's got a real beautiful ebb and flow of just dynamics within the songs. They give themselves room to breathe within the arrangement, and that builds tension. And then the kind of catch and release kind of thing, and having peaks and valleys to the arrangements is what really makes them feel so dynamic and feel so full of life. And I mean, the entire album flows so nicely. Like I said, that's why I felt like it was very deliberately arranged in the fashion in which that it was, and that's what makes an album versus a collection of songs. And we love the Halloween one, but like you mentioned yourself, that felt more like a collection of songs, whereas for me, this felt like an album that was very deliberately plotted. Mm-hmm. So that's my 2 cents on it.
Yeah, it was amazing. It really was. Luckily, we've still got 2 more of the Midnight Syndicate albums to review going forward. Yep. I'm not quite sure when we're going to present them, but definitely sooner rather than later. And then, honestly, they have so many albums at this point that hopefully we'll be able to continue doing so for a while after that, because I just want to amass their music into my collection at this point.
Yeah, and also as like a big thank you, a grande gracias, as I like to say, to the Midnight Syndicate. You guys we're humbled and honored that you've allowed us to make this cool partnership with you, to feature your music and allow it to add that ambiance to reviews and other things that we've done. So thanks to you guys.
Right, absolutely. And it just occurred to me that the lower third might be blocking a little bit of the CD when it pops up, but I think they'll be okay with it. But anyway, thank you guys very much for watching this special Christmas Eve episode of The Horror Show. Well, actually, it might be the day before Christmas Eve because we have a Christmas Eve stream and the news and all that stuff. So happy Saturday before Christmas, you guys. Make sure you can still, I'm sure there's digital versions of this available on Amazon. Just go grab it and play it on freaking Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. You're going to love it, and your friends are going to love it, especially if they're anything like you, and your family will too. So again, thank you very much for watching. Merry Christmas. Happy holidays to you guys. Fuego, any final words?
Happy Festivus. Yes. A Festivus for the rest of us.
All right. Well, thank you guys very much. And remember, stay scared.